If you had a truth in you that would change the world, would you keep it for yourself or would you share it?
Welcome to the show. Tired of the hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Welcome to Your Ultimate Life, the podcast really created to help you and me create a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. A beautiful life like this sunshine in the back that we love every single day, that we can't wait to be part of, that we get up excited about. I don't know, maybe you already live like that, where you get up every day and it's just like the best thing that could possibly be. If that's true for you, would you do me a favor? I'd like you to get a hold of me at yourultimatelifepodcast.com. That's yourultimatelifepodcast.com, because one of the things I love to do really a lot is to share the stories of people who have created that ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy. I want to share what you're doing. I want to learn what happened for you, with you, around you, so that you have this fire in your heart to add good to the world. I want to hear how you accomplished that, what struggles you overcame, and I want to share it with the audience. Because as you know, my mission is to reach 300 million people, and that's not an arbitrary number. That's an inspired number that I'm committed to. And by reach, I mean let them hear this message of WIPOS, worth, identity, possibility, ownership, sovereignty, that your worth is infinite, your identity is a divine being, your possibility is endless because of your divine DNA. Ownership is something we fail to remember. We own life, every minute of it, every day. And sovereignty means we're the ruler. We get to decide really what it creates. So if you're on that path, I'd love to share your story, okay? So please get a hold of me. So today is the final of several episodes we've done about your life and your story and what's going on for you. And we're in, like I said, we're in a series about something that really matters. It matters more than its strategy and tactics and marketing and everything else. And maybe more than anything else that you're doing. Certainly more than you're going to find in a marketing book or some hack, or even newsletters from great marketing minds and stuff. It's not that that stuff isn't valuable, because I subscribe and read and do it. But the thing that gets people's attention is truth, especially when they're yearning to make something more out of themselves. So much of business these days is just about selling stuff, and we all need stuff, food, and I just bought a little technical box to change the boost on my output to the speakers. Okay, we need little pieces of gear, right? I'm just going to get a new teeth washer pretty soon. So what? But the things that are the most valuable are the things that light up our hearts, change our souls, that give us commitment and desire and power every day to love and serve each other. We live in a world of anger, frustration, and division, but only if you go there. I live in a world of love, service, and joy. You can join me, and I'm inviting you to. That's what the ultimate life is about. Now, you get to define your words. I use purpose, prosperity, and joy. But at the core, what I see all the time is that people really want to serve. They want to feel like they matter and do something. And, of course, everybody needs to make good coin, cash. And that's all part of this, because people will pay you when you're giving them something they need or something they want. And we only buy what we want anyway. All right, so this is not about chasing more, but at the same time, you got to build wealth and impact and meaning if you want to live like joyfully every day, where you get up and it's just exciting to be alive. All right, so here's the point. Everything we've talked about in these several episodes leads right here, right now. First is we talked about love, and that's how we choose to see people. I love you. We defined love as a choice to use my spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental energy and gifts to serve you, to lift you, to bless you, to help you, to move you forward. Love is the foundation. The next thing was to listen. The more I work with and think about this simple thing, listening, what is that? Well, it isn't just not talking, and it isn't just trying to understand. We can create someone by our listening. I want you to think about that. We create someone by how we listen to them. It's a powerful thought. If I listen to you with half-baked energy, I create you that you're not very important, or that I don't really care about you or what you have to say. If I listen to you with full and rapt attention, with love in my eyes and interest in my heart, I create you completely differently. So listening is a creative act. And that's the first thing we create for people, is a space of love. And then we create honor. We honor them for who they are and what they've done, no matter where they are in life's journey. And we never know if they're ahead of us or behind us or right next to us. And it doesn't really matter, because everybody's moving, right? And we create lots of things with how we listen. The third thing was about serving, which is then a choice to take all that love and listening and turn it into something valuable for whoever you're with. Now, you notice none of these things was about me. I get. It's about who I'm being in relation to you. So I love you. I listen you. And I say listen you sometimes because the preposition sometimes gets in the way, but I listen and create you through my listening, and then I serve you. And one of the phrases I like is I create space for imagination to blossom and creativity to explode. And what that means really is when we think about our possibilities, we're often diminutive. We don't think we can do much or we have much, and that's not true. And so when there's empty space and support and love around us, then creativity grows, right? Imagination can blossom. So creation is how you or I express. Now, you may have a job and you express whatever it is that you do there in your skill. But more importantly than the skill you bring is the attitude and energy you bring to it. Are you committed to love your coworkers, to do a great job, to make yourself and those you work with proud and happy? If you're not happy and you don't love the company you work with, go get a different job or start your own business. Do something that fills your heart. The economy right now is adding jobs like crazy. At least that's what job reports say. And there's more and more opportunity to do exactly what you love instead of just some mundane job to pay the bills that you don't really like. So that's an opportunity we have. All right. So here's the thing. Today is, I just gave you the building blocks: love, listen, serve, and create. But none of that matters. What? None of that matters if you're still hiding. So what the most important thing is for you to share who you are, the truth of who you want to be, how you see others, how you see yourself, what you have to add to the world. Now, if you think about an accountant, that might be exercising that skill, or an attorney. If you think about an artist, that might be creating beautiful pictures. Now, this was generated by one of the AI machines. But that AI machine was created by a bunch of creative people exercising their genius. What a cool thing. What a beautiful opportunity. You have creative genius. I don't know what you're doing with it, but I know for sure if you use it to the max, you can get paid handsomely. You'll be full of joy because you're doing what you love, and you can add good to the world. So it doesn't matter when you share who you are. I call that sharing the story of your becoming. And here's the truth. Sharing your story is the most efficient and most strategic way to go from book to bank. Write a book and turn it into $100,000. It's easier to do that today in 2026 than it's ever been in the history of the world. From book to bank, from an idea in your head or from the experiences you've lived, to a $100,000 machine. And it isn't magic, and it isn't skullduggery, and it isn't scraping lists or any of those things. What it is telling the truth about who you are and how you got there. The truth about the choices you've made to grow your life. The truth about your yearning to add good to the world. The story we tell is never going to be the polished version, because everybody has an aversion to that. We know when people do that stuff online and it makes you want to go vomit and take a bath when it's fake. But the truth about your growth, the ups and the downs and the struggle. So it's not the polished version or the LinkedIn version. It's certainly not the safe version, but the real story that we all have. That's what's so important. Okay, now, here's my version of that. I'm not going to retell my story because you've heard it on so many episodes in pieces or in part. And if you want to hear the whole thing, you can go back a few hundred episodes. I had 7 where I told the whole journey, and it was starting at about episode 693 through about 700. So if you want to hear my story, go back there. But I spent years hiding. I spent years doing what I thought I was supposed to do, and very successfully, meaning C-suite and a lot of money and stuff. But I was not happy. I experienced just what I'm talking about. Success, quote, outwardly, but misery inside. When I changed my life, that was first. Then I realized that I had a process and story that might be of service to you and to others. And so do you. It's just that most people are afraid to share it. Afraid because people will laugh. Afraid because you think it's not good enough. Afraid because you think it won't matter. Afraid because you don't know how. Well, we can solve all that. Okay? There's a URL right here, dreambuildwriteit.com. Dreambuildwriteit.com. Go there. May 11th, which is right away after you receive this one, we're going to do another book challenge. But the book challenge isn't just to help you write a book. It's to go from book to bank, to go from the truth of your life to $100,000. And there's several ways to do that. It's not like some magic thing. There's several ways to do it. And it's by creating real help and value from the things you have learned. Okay. And so I can prove it to you. So go to dreambuildwriteit.com and sign up right now. So let's talk about how your story does that. First of all, your journey through life isn't random. Every experience that you had or that I had trained something. It pulled something out of you. It forged you in the fire. So you went from stooped over and crying in a puddle of mud to this victory stance here. Maybe a little at a time. Mine took years. I don't know about you. Sometimes people have one great awakening, and I had many. Some of them were major, but it was a continuing process. Pain creates perspective. We stop railing and being bitter toward everyone and everything that got in our way, because we choose to let all those hardships refine us. Childhood, friends, breakups, partners, business partners, illness, poverty, abuse, struggle, bankruptcies, whatever it is, everything like that can be a beautiful teacher. And when you, I know you have, learned from overcoming errors, learning from setbacks, and embracing trials or struggles as sacred teachers, because that's what they are. We're here in this world to learn from our own experience and then to love and serve each other. That's it. We're here to learn from our own experience and then love and serve. And the form that love and service takes place can be the substance of your business, your $1 million. Making $1 million in a year is not hard. It requires dedication and focus, but the path has been laid out so many times by so many people, including me, and I can show you how to do that if you want to. All right. So you might think that your journey isn't special, or that nothing that happened to you makes any difference. That's just not true. Every person I talk to thinks that till we talk for a bit. So if you want to talk about that, again, yourultimatelifepodcast.com, the contact form. Because I said an invitation, if you have a story, I want to share it. And if you want help, I can help you. I've walked the road and I know the markers and I know exactly how to help you do that. So yourultimatelifepodcast.com, the contact form. Okay, so here's another thing that's true. Your journey isn't small. I have had many people that say, I haven't had a spectacular life. I haven't had divine interventions. I didn't have a near-death experience. Wasn't addicted or didn't have bankruptcy. And they think, therefore, they've got nothing to share. Nothing could be further from the truth. So your story's not small. It's not meaningless. Meaning isn't assigned. It's created. If the life journey you took, however easy or hard, smooth or rough it was, brought you to a place of dedication, service, and love, you have a powerful story. If you're still building that place, then that's where you need help, and I'd be delighted to help you. Decisions about who you are and how to interpret the events of your life create your future. They literally decide if the landscape looks beautiful like that, inviting, powerful, and light-filled, or if it looks dark and grumpy. Just how I think about it. Your story. We hear so much in these days about create content. No. Your story is currency. Currency that you trade. Trade for growth, for cash, for service, for meaning. Boy, that story, and I know that, and I talk about this a lot. And this is the last of this arc that I have had about 6 episodes talking about these pieces, loving, listening, serving, creating. And now all of these come together to create the great and glorious being that you are. I honor you for listening to this. I honor you for the yearning that you have. I honor you for every day that you get up and get after it again. You beautiful soul. You glorious person. All right. So let me ask you some questions, and this will just maybe give you some stuff to think about, okay? What things have you been through that you never talk about? Hardest, difficult, hiding, barely remember, don't want to. What are those? Because you're on the other side and you're facing it now. You're standing up still and you've grown from that. And if you're still struggling from those things, and many of us are, that's just the opportunity to do some more growth. Okay? Now, here's something to really think about. What did those struggles, those difficulties, teach you that you have never claimed? That's a powerful and important question. It's one thing to say I had struggles. It's another thing to say I got past them. It's a third thing to say I learned this stuff about life, myself, and my possibility. And it's a fourth thing entirely to claim that. So an example, I am the ultimate alchemist to create purpose, prosperity, and joy. I know how to do it. I have the formulas and the science and the chemistry and the quantum physics and the plain old hard work to go from struggling to success for me and for you. And I claim it. I know it. I've done it and I've helped others do it. So that's claiming. And my question for you is, what struggles have you had that you're still standing from that taught you what? And this is your opportunity to claim it. And that claiming is the beginning of a process where you can speak, you can create products or services, you can coach if you want to, but it's all based from the truth of who you have become. That's why I say the story of your own becoming is the most important gift you have. The story of how you got where you are past all these obstacles. So let's talk for a minute about the things that might be going on in your mind about why people tend to hide or tend to downplay or not do what I'm talking about. The first thing they ask is, either out loud or inside, what are people going to think? They won't think I'm important. They'll think I'm bragging. They'll think I'm lying. They'll think it doesn't matter. All those things are possible. And there will be people that think all those things. So I'm not here to tell you nobody's going to think you're wrong or that you're no big deal or that you don't matter. Somebody's going to think that. That's not who we're trying to serve. That's not who's going to be grateful that you are who you are. That's not the person that's waiting for your voice. The person that's waiting for your voice is someone who may be struggling with the same or similar situation, who isn't as far down the road as you, who's still caught in the throes of, I can't do this. I'll never make it. I don't know what to do. I'm so alone. Nobody knows what I've felt. Nobody has this experience but me, people that are still there dying, maybe literally, but waiting anxiously to hear your voice, your story of becoming, and the growth that you have. Another thing people are afraid of is that others will see me differently. If we have a curated image that we have projected to the world, and yet there are all these things behind the scenes, and then we share them and how we got past and through them, it's terrifying. People are going to think I'm fill in the blank. That was a big one for me. I lived for a long time curated, trying to prove or demonstrate or model that I had certain characteristics and I had it all together, whatever that means. But I had a certain story about that. So knowing, the idea of people knowing of the struggles that I'd had was terrifying, literally mortally terrifying. And the truth is, when I got past that, shared everything, including the struggles and the growth and the overcoming, none of it happened. And yes, there were some, and there still are some, and I don't care. I'm not serving them now with this story. So when you realize, yeah, there's going to be people that think whatever you think they're going to think, sure. And you don't care because that's not who your audience is. Remember that. Your audience are the ones that are hungry for your story, and there are millions of those. Another feeling is people are going to reject me. Oh, well, you used to be in my circle. Get out. I can't stand to have you around. Okay, so I was just watching one of the episodes of The Chosen. Now, you may or may not know that. The Chosen is a 7-season saga, with each season with about 8 episodes, so many 50-something episodes, about the birth, the life, the ministry, the death, crucifixion, resurrection of Christ. And it just released the 6th season. And whether you're Christian or not doesn't matter. These are Jews with Jesus at the birth time of Christianity when Jesus was here. And there's a scene where Jesus is pairing up these apostles that he's called, and he's going to send them out 2 by 2 to go preach the word, right? And he pairs a guy named Simon with a guy named Matthew. Now, Simon was a zealot, and a zealot in those days was a special ops dude that trained in the caves in the mountains to be a fighter, and he created and crafted a special dagger, and they were trained in violence and stealth and, special ops stuff, right? And Matthew was a tax collector for Rome. And so his own people, the Jewish people, hated his guts because they hated Rome and hated the tax collectors. Well, here they were. Matthew got paired with Simon, the tax collector with the zealot. And so in normal circumstances, that would have been like putting oil and water, don't mix, more appropriately throwing a piece of sodium metal into water. If you've never done that, you don't know, but it boils and then explodes, right? And so that's what would have happened. Yet they were paired, and initial trepidations. What? You used to be a tax collector? And then they realized the teachings of love, forgiveness that they were about to go preach. So maybe they will reject you, and those that reject you aren't ready. People reject me, and I don't care. I love them anyway, and I understand, as you do and will, that they're on their own path. And that's okay. They are where they are. Remember, you and I, a month, a year, 10 years ago, we were somewhere else, struggling with our own challenges, not awake, not alive to the fact that we're here to love and serve. So 5 minutes to 5 years or whatever ago, we were that. And now some good things have happened in our lives, and we've taken advantage of them and taken them in, and now we're ready to share and lift and bless and love. So rejecting you, who cares? And when we feel all that, we edit our story. We shorten it, we hide it, we change things, we soft pedal. It makes it not effective. Another thing that we feel is that we're ashamed. We're ashamed that we made these mistakes. We're ashamed. Shame is a useless emotion. It doesn't lead to growth. If you feel some kind of guilt or regret about something you've done, that's powerful and useful. Go fix it. Like forgiveness, there's three things. Fix what you can, change who you are, and then go add good to the world. Many things we can't fix, but some we can, so fix what you can. If you've made a mistake or done something that was just plain wrong, even if you knew it at the time, change who you are so you become the person that doesn't do that. And then go and add good to the world, meaning love and serve and give and bless and lift and make money and make business and do a great job. And I always add that because when you talk in this woo-woo stuff about, transformation and getting out of your own way, and people don't tie the thread to money. Well, when people hire me to coach them, they pay in cash. They don't pay in feel-good tokens. So there has to be a way to turn this into sustenance, prosperity, and cash, and there is, and it's not hard. But I never shy away from talking about that because it's part of the deal. We also feel regret, and that might be good. Shame is a useless emotion. But sometimes we feel like, we don't ever want people to know I used to be a person that did that. I used to be a drug addict, hardcore, pathological liar. Now, my saying that might make people think, I don't want to know someone that used to be that. I'm not any of those things now. I'm transparent, tell the truth, and I have nothing to do with abuse of, any substances. And that transition is what I have to offer that's powerful and growth-oriented. But some people can say, don't care. Okay, another thing that keeps us from doing this is doubt. I've heard this so many times I can't even count it. Who am I to say anything? Who am I to write this? Who am I to go speak on this? Who am I to create a product or service about overcoming anxiety or dealing with stage fright or learning how to network or learning how to forgive or learning how to do marketing even? Who am I to do that? Aren't there other people that are more qualified? The answer is probably. There's always somebody that's better than you at whatever. That doesn't matter. It isn't just the skill level. It's the interaction. I mean, there's people that you love to be around and people that don't feel good energetically. Yet those people that don't feel good to you are somebody else's favorite. And since there's 8 billion people on the planet, there's plenty for all of us. All right, so that's some of the things that keep people from doing this. The last one is one that really nailed me, and that was staying safe. If I didn't go all in and expose myself, I was safe. I was safe. I couldn't get hurt. I couldn't get laughed at. I couldn't get bashed. So I didn't show up fully because I was afraid. So I stayed safe. And you're free to do that. And I did for a long time. But it's not fulfilling because you always feel like I could do this, I could do that, and you could. And the world's waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Can't wait to see your stuff. All right. So then if that's the reasons we don't, what happens when we do? So let's talk for a minute about the power of owning, like full on owning your story. So here's what happens when you tell the truth. And this is from personal experience and working with clients. First of all, it's absolute clarity. I don't have to pretend anymore, and I'm not guessing at who I am. Now, that doesn't mean when we overcome some negative habit or get past some struggling experience that suddenly we're perfect or without challenge, but it means we're no longer afraid. We own it. It's powerful. We know it. We've moved through it, and we now have certainty about our skill and ability to do that thing or overcome that challenge. That certainty is contagious because it applies to other areas of your life. Well, if I can do that, then I can do that. And if I can do those, then I can do that. And that's true. That's not nonsense. It's real. That certainty and that skill is absolutely contagious. Another thing that happens when you get clarity is you stop changing your message every week. You see that when people try something in the marketplace or in their family or relationships. And it doesn't work immediately or have some dramatic results. So they, well, maybe it's the wrong message and they change it and they got a new thing. No, I have been your ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy, worth, impact, meaning, all ways of saying the same thing for many years. The expression is different. I got a podcast. I write books. Right? I'm creating Ultimate Life University. I have a challenge, Dream, Build, Write It, where I help you with your expression. But it's all about purpose, prosperity, and joy. Not any change, and there never will be. This is what I'm here to do, to help you discover who you really are. And because it's so much fun, because I've lived it. So that's one thing you get. You get clarity. Another thing you get when you start telling your story is identity, because now you start claiming it. I am a son of God. I'm a disciple of Christ. I don't make any bones about it. That's the doctrine and truth that I follow. Love, serve, lift, bless. And guess what? It creates business. It creates relationships. It creates opportunity. It resonates with some people. And you have that same skill. There's nothing interesting or special about me, except I've gotten a massive clarity and an absolute certainty about my own identity. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but I can help you find and own yours like a bedrock, like that mountain back there. Because what happens then is you stop shrinking because you're standing in your own power. And that's one of these phrases, step into your power. Right? People say it all the time, and it's really hard to understand, except if you're doing it. Because when you get clear about who you are, what you stand for, what you offer to people, really, then there's no shrinking anymore, because then you can stand in it. Okay? Now, here's some truths. When you get clarity, it creates direction. I know exactly, clearly who I am. So many people, I wish I knew what my purpose is. Well, let me help you. I can help you find your purpose that you can own and hold on to and use as a guiding light. Because that will then create direction for your life, for your business, and for your opportunities. Okay? Then direction creates action. Because if I know for sure I'm heading to that sunset, then I know which direction to walk. If I'm just wandering around in a fog, then action becomes difficult. Well, I don't know. I had a client who did that for a whole year. We talked, not all year, but most of the year of engagement about, well, I don't want to do that because what if it's the wrong thing? What if I waste time? And guess what? We ended up wasting a lot of time talking about wasting time, except at the end of the day, nothing is wasted. It's all a learning and growth opportunity. Okay, the next thing after identity is it creates authority. When you have clarity and you know exactly who you are a beacon of light, a vessel of love, and a conduit of power, and you shine just like that sunshine back there. When you have a clear identity and clear authority, people will come running. I know it because I've seen it, and I help people find their authority. And people love certainty. We live in a world of uncertainty where everybody's claiming this, that, and the other. And when you absolutely, with love and kindness, stand in your own authority, identity and authority and certainty, you're invincible. You're invincible. And it becomes really easy to create purpose, prosperity, and joy because you know what message you're sharing. And it all starts with examining your life story, examining the journey of your own growth and becoming. And it's really simple. I mean, you can go be an affiliate marketer or sell books or sell widgets or prepper gear or whatever. And that might make you a living. If you want to do something that's powerful, explore yourself because that's what you've lived. If I sold, electronics gear, ran an eBay store, okay, I can do that. But that's always talking about that thing over there. And I might get really good and knowledgeable about that, but it doesn't carry the lived authority of your life, which you already have and may not be using. Okay, action then creates results. So here's the three things. Clarity creates direction, direction creates action, action creates results. And that doesn't mean everything's a straight line and it's perfect, because we all know it doesn't work like that. I'm offering help. My whole world, everything I do morning to night, first breath to last every day, is to reach 300 million people and help you figure out who you really are, find your personal journey, live into it, create value, and add good to the world, and ultimately live your ultimate life. I do that. I live in purpose, prosperity, and joy. It's got 3 more books that are actually all the way written. They're in editing and publication, various stages. They'll be out soon. Why do I write a bunch of books? I think that's up to number 24 something. Why? Because I love you. I straight up love you and want to give you everything I've got. Because I've learned a lot, discovered a lot, overcome a lot. I've got a lot of mountains and battlefields and graveyards in my past. And I'm still standing. Beacon of light, vessel of love, conduit of power. And I'm not special. You are, or we are together. You've got everything I have. It's just that most people I talk to haven't claimed that identity and their certainty, and they're still operating from fear or doubt. We can fix that. YourUltimateLifePodcast.com, the contact form. So the moment I started telling the truth about my life, 3 things happened. My own growth and progress sped up. In other words, overcoming bad habits, changes, being more clear, able to think better about business, creating products and services that then turned into a much, much bigger business. I happen to create a coaching practice. You don't have to do that. There's a dozen ways to turn your life experience into value and income. A dozen ways. All kinds of speaking opportunities, and seminar opportunities, and product opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. So there's lots of ways to do that. And the one you pick is going to be the one you like, the one that feels good to you and is consistent with your life journey. So 3 things happened. First, I got more powerful, got easier. Second, life got way more fun because I was doing and engaged in what I wanted to do. And I want to offer that opportunity to you if you want it. If you're happy with what you're doing, then I still want to talk to you because I want to share your story of your own becoming here on the show. And the third thing is it makes you happy every day. Just thrilled and happy to live your life. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. Joy is a chosen, created state. It doesn't depend on externalities. All right, so here's the process to do this. First, you have to acknowledge your story. Write it. Speak it. Own it. Stop minimizing it. That's step 1. You want to do that with some help? DreamBuildWriteIt.com. But whatever you do, do it. The second thing after you acknowledge your story is to organize it. What parts of your life really matter? Which ones are the big things that have substantially changed you? What are those? Well, let's get it organized. What happened? What did it do to you? What does it teach you? How can I use that right now? That's the thread. And then the actualization is figuring out how to turn it into a business, which you can in, like I said, a dozen different ways. Then you need to express it. It might be through conversations, might be through content that you make, or expressions online, videos, or Substack, or media. There's 100 ways. Talks, speaking, etc., or a book. And I have found, that's why I've done 24, that writing books is the most strategic way to go from book to bank, turn your story into $100,000. If you want to do that, come join me. May 11th, DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Come join me and let me help you. Okay? It's not about being an author. Oh, I've got an author. And we'll help you get it published and get an Amazon bestseller, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not about that. It's about getting complete clarity. It's about getting identity. It's finding your voice and getting some leverage so that your voice can be heard above all the noise in the world. So here's some final phrases I want you to take with you. And I wrote them down. This is where you stop hiding and start building. The world now needs more voices than it has ever needed. This is where your experience, your own personal life, becomes your big asset And this is where your own personal life becomes the message that will not be denied. Now, you already know there's a story in you. There's more in you. You've had a yearning to do good, add good to the world. And you've said more than once, well, I wish I could get paid for what I know. I wish I could get paid for what I love. Well, you can. There's steps in a process. Don't postpone it anymore. Whether you use my help and my system or not, take courage. You're a divine being. You matter. And you can help people live full, rich, joyful lives if you're willing to share your own. So remember, as we close here, you create your life one thought at a time, one choice at a time, one interaction at a time with yourself or others. So choose to love, choose to listen, okay? Choose to serve, choose to create from your gifts and talents. What follows then is wealth, impact, and meaning, and great progress on the road to create your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to KellanFluckigerMedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, YourUltimateLife.ca. Subscribe. Share.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on the ground.